I am Nathan with Complete Carpet, and we're here in the Tulsa area in Oklahoma. Thrive Time Workshop, I originally heard it on the radio on KFAQ here locally in Tulsa, and it was a unique perspective. It was something different that I hadn't heard. I mean, there's a lot of political shows, but something that dealt with the everyday things that, the grind, the daily grind that you deal with in your business. And the workshop sounded like it was something that was going to give some move the needle type of value. We currently have a carpet cleaning company, and we service here in the Tulsa and surrounding communities. We look to try to help you eliminate that service and that maintenance need of your regular ongoing carpet needs. And the thing that I'm looking for right now in the workshop is I'm at that point where I want to add more vehicles, and I've been a sole proprietor. I've done it. I like to do great hands-on work, but I want to know, how do I build the right system to be able to give that same passion and desire? I know no one can do it as good as I can, but how do I set it up properly so when I do hire a new employee, they're not going to look at me and say, how exactly did you want this get done? And I'm going to say, well, you just do it the way I showed you. I need to have some way to set those systems up. So I'm looking here at this particular conference to make sure that I can integrate those systems in properly and have it in place so I can learn from other people's failures instead of my own mistakes. Here, the energy is the best word to describe what goes on here. I've been at other conferences, I've done other situations, even at my own house. I'm trying to focus in or listen to a podcast, and it's just, there's not the same lighting, there's not the same motivational quotes. I mean, everywhere you turn and you look around this facility, there's something there that's going to challenge you to think bigger and to think greater. It's the other entrepreneurs. Somebody that I just had a conversation just a minute ago with somebody that said something that got my mind thinking about a problem I was trying to figure out, and all of a sudden my brain just explodes. I grabbed a notepad and started writing down everything. And so it's a high energy place with people that are here because they want to be, because they're pushing to try to make themselves greater. And that's what this breeds more ideas and more thoughts beyond what it is that you're breaking that shell, breaking that out. You've got the box, you always do it 24/7 this way, and seeing other ways that other people are doing it and saying, how can I incorporate that into what I'm doing? And this place just breeds those ideas. Clay is like Jim Gaffigan on steroids. I mean, he just brings everything, and the beauty of what he does is that he's marrying a really difficult idea, something that's hard to wrap your brain around, with something that's really humorous to where it really sticks in your mind. You can remember it because it's relatable. And it's hard to point your finger at somebody and say, this is what you've done wrong. It's so much easier to learn from the mistakes of others and to turn those into a humorous event where you can laugh it off, but still go, oh yes, you know what? I actually did that last week. Actually, yesterday I was on a phone call with a customer and I did that same mistake, and I can relate. I actually went last week and saw Jim Gaffigan in concert, and I thought, you know what? I think he's stealing some of his information from Clay, because some of the comments and the things, I think Clay presents it even better way of how you deal with life and the struggles that it has and how to achieve beyond that. I could write an entire page of valuable things, but the one that really sticks the most is focus and your time management. So many entrepreneurs, so many other people that I've talked to, they're not getting done as much as they could because they are so distracted by doing so many other things, that if I just turn off all the push notifications, if I cut off, I just completely turning off the phone, focusing on the project you're currently doing, and then mapping out what it is you are going to do every day. So many times we lose so big chunks of our day because we haven't decided what we are going to do, and we let the day decide what will happen to us. And so that's probably the biggest thing that this conference has helped me with, is going in there and saying, being purposeful, being proactive about what I'm going to accomplish that day, and then actually getting out there and doing it. And I hold myself accountable every day to say, did I get all these action items done? And if not, keep going through that day until I've gotten them accomplished. And I have had tremendous growth in the last 2 or 3 months. I'm on track to almost double this month's growth just because I'm keeping myself accountable and doing what I know I have the capacity to do. The favorite aspect I have of the workshop so far is the high energy of the presentation, of the way it's being presented. I mean, there's good information, and I've heard a lot of this information. I've been in business for 20 years, and I have all these concepts, and there's a big difference in this, in taking a concept and making it useful and related. I know a lot of these ideas, but I have no idea how to apply them in what I'm doing every single day. And what is great about this conference is that almost every single minute, I had I'm already 5-6 pages in on just, he'd say something and then connect it to something, and I immediately see that's how I could use it in my business. By giving a story, it connects it to something I know I can do, and that is really how this conference really goes beyond all the other conferences I've ever been, is that it's giving relatable stories that I can quickly translate into what will I do in my business later today. Not in a month or in 6 months. What am I going to do as soon as I leave here? That I'm going to sit down and start, workflow planning or time management or time booking, or making sure I just going every time to a customer and asking for a Google lead, or go ask for a Google review, or asking for whatever it is that I need to do, push that needle forward right now, today, as I leave this conference. And I feel like I'm coming away with tons of ideas. I'm not even sure where to start first sometimes. A lot of the same things that we do every day, we get swept under the rug because we get so used to getting into the grind. We get so used to doing these things over and over and over, and having somebody that can look at that perspective, look at what they're doing, relating to the fact they are grinding and they're stuck, but not just that they're stuck, that they found another way out, or that there is some other thing. I mean, there's lots of ways, as quote the old phrase, there's lots of ways to skin a cat, but so many times we just sit there and we feel like there's too many ways, and we don't know what to do. We become useless because of apathy. And what this conference has done for me personally, and I think if anyone's missing out on something, is that spark that creativity, that light that fire inside of you that can say, you know what? Don't just sit there waiting for someone else to move the needle. This is your business. This is your opportunity. Get out there and start doing these things yourself. And then getting that motivation and getting those tools that you can say later today, I'm actually going to start doing something. That's what you're missing if you're not here. Getting that accountability, getting that push, those ideas put into motion that you can do, giving those actionable items you can do today. I think everyone should attend a Thrive Time workshop because on a very simple basis, you don't know what you don't know. And if you can get out there and see how other people are doing things and how they're doing it, you can't spur on new creative ideas, think outside of the box of what you're doing. You can't move the needle forward in your business. If you could do it, you would have already done it. And so we need to have these opportunities where we can see other businesses, how they flow, how they solve problems, how they go stuff, so that you can go back and say, you know what? I see at least one idea to get me unstuck. And I think if anybody comes to any workshop and what they would be missing, what they need is that you will find that one idea you need to get unstuck, to move the needle forward this week.